Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Hawa Tasnim, matrix number 060087. So, second language acquisition, also known as sequential language acquisition, is the process of acquiring a second language after mastering a first language. English is one of the most popular language to learn and speak. Many individuals develop it and become bilingual even if they reside far away from either of the countries claimed to be the English language native country. This paper summarizes data recorded specifically among FBK students in University Sultan Zainul Abidin, UNIZA, on attitudes of students towards learning English. The objective of this case study is to identify the challenges faced among these FBK students on learning English as their second language and to measure their level of acceptance towards the language.
So, a literature review aims to understand the existing research on a particular area of study while presenting the knowledge as a written report. Yet, since conducting a literature review is proven beneficial in comprehending the topic, 5 things related to our chosen topics will be covered in this project's literature review. So, first, what is the English language? So, according to Crystal 1997, conversation without a common language between academicians from different nationalities in the virtual and real world would prove impossible. That is why nowadays, English is considered one of the most common languages worldwide. Next is the affective filter hypothesis. So, Creation 1985 sees the learner's emotional state or attitudes as an adjustable filter that can freely pass or block inputs that are necessary for acquisition. He further mentioned that an affective filter is a psychological obstacle that prevents the learners from absorbing comprehensible input completely. The third one is attitude. So most of the research on the issue has concluded that the students' attitudes are integral to learning, since attitude usually influences one's behaviors and inner mood. Therefore, it has become essential for second or foreign language learning pedagogy. Next is the motivation of students to learn English. So Gardner 1985 defines motivation as the extent to which the individual strives to learn a language because of the desire and satisfaction experienced in this activity. In simple words, it can be defined that motivation is the way learners set up goals and show effort to pursue them. Last but not least is anxiety. So Herman 1996 indicates that various feelings often come with learning. These negative attitudes like anxiety are usually described as the affective factors that may influence the learning stage and how many language a learner can achieve in a given time.
As for our research, we utilize a quantitative method in our approach. To collect data, we distributed an online questionnaire to 20 random students from each course, making up 60 participants altogether. The questionnaire is divided into 2 sections: demography, general questions, and attitudes. And it is done so to analyze the FBK students' attitudes towards English language learning. So for this sample, we utilized random sampling. However, the 60 participants are only limited to the students of FBK. And the courses in question are band, bass, and BUM. Like I've mentioned before, for the research instrument, we utilize a quantitative method, which is using Google Form, an online questionnaire. So the main questions focus towards analyzing their attitudes towards learning English, mainly their motivation and their anxiety. The findings are then evaluated using a Likert scale, rating the questions from strongly agree to strongly disagree. In analyzing data, descriptive analysis was used to identify the backgrounds of the participants, which is their course and their MUET result. Okay, so this is to analyze the data according to the details of the respondent and to analyze their response.
These are the demographics that we use for the questionnaire. These are the results of the Malaysian University English Test or MUET. This result shows that only one student, representing 1.7%, have not taken the test. 3 students, representing 5%, have achieved Band 2. 20 students, representing 33.3%, have achieved Band 3. 29 students, representing the 48.4%, got Band 4. 2 students representing the 3.3% got Band 4.5. And another 5 students, representing 8.3%, pulled off Band 5.
In this poster, we only took 2 most significant results that may have an effect on the whole study. Hence, this is the result that we have managed to obtain from the survey. From the case study, it is clear that students love learning English, but the anxiety and lack of motivation became a filter or barrier for them in acquiring and practicing it in daily life. 71% comprising 43 students agreed to the statement that they love learning English language. Meanwhile, 35% comprising 21 students strongly agreed they tend to panic when they are required to speak in English. Therefore, it indicates that anxiety and motivation play a significant role in language learning and acquisition. The affective filter, which is related to the monitor model hypothesis developed by Krashen, is the best indicator to measure this. The affective filter is a metaphor that describes a learner's attitudes that affect the relative success of second language acquisition. Negative feelings such as lack of self-motivation, lack of self-confidence, and learning anxiety act as filters that hinder and obstruct language learning.
Now let's move on to the discussion. We compare the results of our finding with past research to prove that Krashen theories do indeed happen in our surrounding, especially towards the second language acquisition. After comparing, we found that the results are similar to each other. Referring to Lin 2008's findings, it can conclude that a stress-free learning environment helps to motivate learners. Meanwhile, in our findings, it can be said that learners feel pressure as they are forced to learn English as it is a required subject in their education and their future jobs. This result can prove that motivational levels does have an effect towards the affective filter in receiving comprehensive input. Besides that, another research from Minshui 2016 stated its findings that unclear information input from educators could affect the students' confidence, which is correlated to their anxiety level. In our survey, participants answered that they feel anxious when they need to do anything related to the English language without any further preparation, especially when they could not comprehend what the lecturer are saying in English. This shows that the increase in anxiety level could also increase the affective filter towards comprehensive input.
In conclusion, ultimately, English is the lingua franca for internal communication, media, and the internet. Science, aviation, computing, diplomacy, and tourism all utilize it. Understanding the value of English, whether for professional or personal reasons, will help you achieve your objectives. The more proficient you are, the more properly you can express yourself. From this point, the question arises whether or not English as a second language, with all of its difficulties, is beneficial to learn. From this research, it is apparent that studying English as a second language has its limitations, but the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. Although the English language is challenging to master, it is worthwhile to study it, and even more so as a bilingual, since the English language is used by so many people and standardized in education level nowadays. Based on the results gained through our questionnaire, it is proven that FBK students mostly acknowledge their English skills and proficiency as a second language in a native bilingual proficiency. Not just that, a large number of FBK students are highly motivated and confident in using English as their second language daily, since they have advanced expertise and are not shy in communicating by that language. Last but not least, this justifies that FBK students are extremely motivated in using English as their second language by speaking and listening skills, as they are quite influenced by the university learning environment, which helps to boost up their confidence in the language. That's all from us. Thank you.